1 second. I'm gonna hit record and, oh, actually recording is started. Awesome, thank you. And we're going live in about 3 seconds. Thank you.
Hello, welcome everyone. We welcome people all around the world to come into our program and showcase who they are, what they do in their products and services. I'm Kurt Roskoff, your ambassador for the Disability Channel and also your host for this year TDC Today show. Today we're going to be looking at water quality, and so we have Leon here and our cohort Marianne Waikiki with her Acts of Kindness book series and app games and finger puppets, and so we got quite a package for you today. So the TDC Today show again is part of the work of the Disability Channel television by and with people with disabilities and veterans, and so we're always excited to create this equitable opportunity here for television production and getting people with disabilities and veterans involved in making these shows possible. So we give great thanks to all of the work that everybody in our team is doing, and also with our collaborative partners, Project Die Hard, serving our veterans, responding to the issue of veteran suicide. Check it out at projectdiehard.org. And with what we do at these shows, we also provide them out through the Transform You Media Network, the PAC channel. We're involved with nonprofit TV, Lawrence Wingate with Wingate Studios. So a lot going on here, lots to do, a lot of community missions and doing a lot of advocacy. So Marianne, we met Marianne through the Happy Neighborhood Project. Marianne, if you want to come on in here and give a little bit of the background to how you and Leon got connected, what you're doing with Leon and with water quality campaigns and everything. Marianne, are you able to come in here and set the backdrop, and then we'll dive on in and have our good talk show conversation. Take it away, Marianne.
Well, hola, Leon. Hola, Kurt, and everybody. This is Marianne of Waikiki. Thank you so much for having this show in Lawrence Wingate Studios. A little apology and forgiveness here. I kind of got a temporary visual impairment, so I can't go live, and I have a little bit of a hearing loss with a allergy here. And so I had sent some information to everybody. So forgive me if you got some text at a different hour, or I'm having a challenge on my iPhone seeing, but I appreciate all of you because so much amazing stuff happened this morning. One, I got a sunflower grant writer email, and I contacted Leon McLaughlin here with Clean Water Foundation so that we can bring the Acts of Kindness series books into animation movies with sign language characters and 200 puppets, folk Manus puppets, with soundtrack by Lucy Lynch in the Perfect Way. So how did Leon and I's journey begin? We met in Waikiki, Hawaii at the Equus Hotel, where I happened to write a third book called Pono, the Hawaiian Polo Pony, or Righteous Acts of Kindness. Now, Leon was doing his amazing work and networking and events, and we ended up talking. And well, this is pre-pandemic. We were talking about a fundraiser in Miami with Jimmy Buffett and bringing my books. And while everything's been on hold, and I'm in San Carlos, Mexico Marina, working on a climate change books, which would incorporate Clean Water Foundation, a whale, and it would be in divine flow in living water. So I'm creatively working on that with my co-writer Suzanne Sims, who's south of us in Guadalajara. And Suzanne informed Leon of a community that she's in that's in needs of clean water filters because of the arsenics in the water, and of course worldwide. So what we can do to partner together is bring these amazing books, the Acts of Kindness series, so all classroom teachers in the United States of America can request a copy for every single student from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. Again, that's DonorsChoose.org. We have 30,000 USA schools, 3,000 deafblind schools, that we sent a press release kit to in February. So the movement is happening. We're shifting that happiness, and especially from all the networking of happy neighborhood projects. So Leon, I haven't connected with you, and I'm so glad you could join us today. So every Saturday now, we had the Disability Channel, and exciting that Lawrence Wingate Studios is able to support this show and help us move with bringing these books and the animation movies with Clean Water Foundation. So take it away, Leon.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Like Mariana said, we had met in Hawaii, and we were talking about the characters that she has in her Act the Kindness book and my water projects around the world, and how she would create these characters that we could work together on for the water projects. And we're currently in over 40 different countries providing clean, fresh drinking water to children and their families around the world. But our current project is with the Hopi and Navajo Reservation in Mexico. So we're working with the United Nations. We're getting nominated for a United Nations Global Water Award, and I'll send you guys the information on that. But I think it's a great idea on the characters that she have, and especially to have different water characters that she have with the whales and the different other characters to relate to children. And we basically set up our water units in schools and clinics, and we teach the children in those schools about water, and they actually bring water home and educate their families about the different water filters and the water projects, because they learn it from school, and the kids become goodwill ambassadors for the community and the parents. So that's what we're doing, and that's our main mission. When we go into a country, we actually set up in schools and clinics, and we have an inauguration celebration, but we teach the kids, and the kids go home, teach the parents and the communities. So yeah,
That's awesome.
that's what we're doing. That's our concept.
So I know you've done so many fundraising events. What do you have in store for spring and summer, Leon?
Yeah, we got some amazing events. Like I said, we've just been nominated by the United Nations because, as you know, March 22nd was World Water Day. And we have an amazing event coming up on April 7th, which is next week at the Hyatt Regency in Bellevue. We have an event coming up April 29th in Beverly Hills at Hardcourt Realty. That's given us an event there. And we have an event April 29th in Kirkland, Washington at the Life Community Church. It holds 300 people. And that was amazing when you were talking earlier about a play, because that place is big enough to have plays and musicals, and it holds about 300 people. My background, I used to book shows at the Paramount Theater in Seattle, Portland, and Fresno, California. So when you mentioned plays, I've worked with everybody from Hugh Brenner and The King and I to Cats and all of those plays. So that is my background, and that's how we got into the water, saying let's give back from the entertainment side. And that's why we have these fundraisers with a lot of music acts involved. So yeah, we have the April 29th event. We're in Sedona, Arizona in June. And we have July 14th, 15th, and 16th in Kirkland, Washington at a ranch. It's going to be like a Woodstock play. And I'll send everybody the links and the posters.
Awesome. So I have can I ask you, back in the day, Leon, you started out as a shoe shiner and you networked with Bill Gates Foundation. How did you develop these filters? What came to mind?
Well, I used to have a chain of coffee shops in Canada. So they were like coffee carts, like hot dog carts. So yeah, I was booking shows at the Paramount. We had a shoe repair place, shoe shine place, leather care store, all in one at the Columbia Center. And they used to be our clients when they came in for their shoe repair, the shoe shine. They bought briefcases. That's back in the day when you had a briefcase and you were an attorney. And we were in a building that was 76 floors. It's the Columbia Tower of pure prestige with all these attorneys, bankers. So it was basically a financial building that we were in, that we had these three shops: the shoe repair, the shoe shine, the leather care store. So we met all these city officials, and my traveling actually started in Mexico. I was in Mexico and I seen these barrels on the roof, and I asked this lady when I was in Mexico, "What's those barrels?" And she said they were water barrels. And she said, "I store my water in my bathtub." And one day I was having a gathering, and a tourist was there, and he went to use the bathroom, seen the water in the tub, and he drained it thinking he was doing her a favor, and came out and told her that, and she started crying, saying that was my water for the month. So I was wondering, since we had these coffee carts in Canada, I had a chain of them, could you build a water cart like a coffee cart? And so I went to school for water distribution, repair, and maintenance online, got a degree, and we designed these water carts. And our first one went to Bolivia, where they had a situation like Katrina there. And we actually put the first cart there, and the cart was producing cleaner and fresh water that was actually better than the water that they had before the disaster. And they started using it for everyday use. So from there, because we were working with World Vision, they was like, well, we want to get some of these carts not only in World Vision Bolivia, but World Vision Peru, World Vision Chile. So they actually took the carts that I designed, because they were mobile and they were solar, and they could provide water for 3,000 to 5,000 people, and you could take it to any lake or river like a cart. And they started moving them around, and that's how it all started. Yeah. And now we're in over 40 different countries.
That's amazing. This is Sue Roskoff. I want to hop in and just, you blew me away at that whole concept of that a barrel worth or a bathtub worth of water was somebody's water allocation for a month. It's like, how it makes me feel awfully spoiled where I sit here, and I don't have to really be that, or I guess maybe I should be, but it doesn't cross my mind in that fashion about scarcity with water. So
yeah, you're exactly right. Because what happened to me, like I said, we had a chain of coffee carts, mobile, like those hot dog carts on the corner. And I had that because I've always been an entrepreneur. And I was like, when she told me that, and she said that was my water for the month, and they couldn't afford to buy the water from the water trucks, I said, I wonder if we can develop a water cart like a coffee cart or a hot dog cart. And that's when I went to school, and we developed actual water carts. And you take them to the river or lake, and they take out viruses, contaminants. And we actually designed our latest filter where we don't have to use UV light. This filter works like a UV light, where it actually takes out viruses and contaminants. And we got the manufacturers involved. And like I said, and now we're in over 40 countries 20 years later. But that's how, and my story started in Mexico. Yeah.
wow, that's incredible. Can you tell us a little bit more about, you mentioned about the UN piece with all this too. How did this all end up coming together? And, again, it's one of these things, just ignorant sitting here, that never occurred to me that would be something that is out there, that they are recognizing this kind of effort. It makes a lot of sense, but it just hasn't ever crossed my eardrums before. So I'm just really curious to hear a little more about that as well.
Yeah, I tell you, what happened was when, like Mary Ann said about the Gates Foundation. So we did a thing with the Gates Foundation called World Water Day. World Water Day is every March 22nd. It just passed. So at the shoe shine stand, I had Gates and all them was my clients. Because remember, I had a shoe shine stand, shoe repair place, and I had a leather care store where we were selling briefcases, refurbishing bags. So in the Columbia Center, that's where all the attorneys and stockbrokers and bankers were. It's right in Seattle, 76 floors of pure prestige with all these, it's like Wall Street. So here we were doing the shoes of Bill Gates' dad, who had the law firm. Preston Gates and Ellis was the law firm. We were doing their shoes, shining their shoes, and talking about the water project. So they knew that what I was doing on the water side. And then they said, well, hey, I think you need to hook up with my son, Bill Gates' dad, Papa Gates, as we call him. So they said, let's have an event about your water carts, because I was connected to World Vision on World Water Day. This was 20 years ago. So the city of Seattle had hosted the World Water Day event, and we had the Gates Foundation top water and sanitation guy there. And that was before Bill Gates actually got into water, because he was into malaria and that kind of stuff at that time. So when I talked to one of his guys that he had hired to be his water and sanitation guy, which was new, they said, this little invention you got with this water cart is pretty cool. And we think we're going to get into water also, and toilets, because we see it was a need in third world countries around the world where the sanitation piece wasn't there, and purification, which I was doing. So we did the World Water Day, connected with the United Nations that city of Seattle hosted. And that's how I got involved in World Water Day, featuring my solar water cart. And it's now in World Vision's Display Center and in the Bill and Melinda Gates Discovery Center Museum. The first cart that I actually developed that's solar is in their museum. And now Bill Gates Foundation is into the water. They've actually developed their own water purification machine and sanitation. And we worked together on designing a machine that actually went into South Africa in Swaziland, together with one of the Gates purification and sanitation guys. So that's how we ended up with the World Vision and also the United Nations. And from 20 years ago, from that first Seattle United Nations event, I've been with the United Nations every year, every World Water Day. And they're nominating me for a Global Water Award this year. And I'll send you guys the links.
That'd be great. And congratulations for that nomination. That is enormous.
Yes, it is.
Accomplishment right there. So
and I sent it to Mary. Yeah, I sent it to Marianne, and she can forward you the links, because I don't have you guys' emails, but she can forward you everything, and you can read about it from our Global Water Award. We actually hadn't won an award like that. It's been like 12 years, because we won the American Waterworks Association Award in America here, and then just got nominated for the Global World Water Day Award from the United Nations. And you got to see this stuff. I have Marianne forward it to you. It's unbelievable. So to get them involved is great. It's been a great run. And to have people donate, like I said, we got this farm donated to us for July 14th, 15th, and 16th, a ranch that they donated. And in Sedona, Arizona, we got a ranch donated for a fundraiser for June. So it's been an amazing ride, and it all started at the shoe shine stand and traveling to Mexico.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know what thin threads will connect all the things together that end up turning into massive impact, like what you're doing. That's
exactly.
Tremendous.
Yeah, and if you want to go on the website, you can see it, www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org. And you can see everything there on our website. So it's pretty cool. Been a great ride. You can see the countries we in, how we started out with World Vision, the whole works. Yeah.
Awesome. And so tell us a little more then with the connection with you and Marianne. How did you guys, what
like I said, I was in Hawaii, and in Hawaii at one of her friends' places, she was in the lobby, I was in the lobby, we started talking. And then I told her I was in the water, because she said, hey, you know, why, how you doing? I said, I'm vacationing, but I'm working on this water project also, because we were putting the project together in the Caribbean at that time. And she said, well, I do this acts of kindness project with these characters. And by me being past entertainment, because I used to book shows, I know all about characters. And she said, I think I can create some water characters, long story short, on what you do. And I said, I think that would be great. And her characters' names were just phenomenal. And I was like, it was like the Muppets kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Bird and those guys. And I was like, well, I've done all these Broadway shows and that kind of stuff. So I think this would be a great piece for what we're doing with the water, to actually have characters. And since we deal with children, because our main deal is to go into schools and clinics, because in a lot of countries, the kids are basically the throwaway people. They're not worth anything in a lot of countries. So we said, what we're going to do is go into the schools, teach the kids about water. They got to go to school to get the water, have the kids bring the water home, and educate the parents and the community, where the children is now goodwill ambassadors, and now they're worth something, that they're no longer the throwaway children. So that's why when we go into any country, we first install in schools and clinics, and we have this big inauguration celebration for clean water. That's where the music come in, because I'm a music background. That's how we do all of our fundraisers.
I love it.
I got to go, guys. I wish I could talk more, because I'm on another show in 2 minutes. But I'll forward. Marianne has everything. She can forward it to you. Go to our website. Let's all get together again. And thank you so much for having me on the show.
Excellent. Well, we're thrilled you had time to join us here today. And yes, we would love to have you back and continue the conversation and see where things are going. So
thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So Marianne, maybe you want to pop back in here and tell us a little more of just in maybe a minute here of your reflection on this. And you know what? I think we're going to bring you in on our next show, and we'll get a fuller conversation here about your end of all this as well.
Well, Leon and I, when we met, we joked, it was like we were meant to meet. We were supposed to meet. So the universe does provide. And he did come back to Hawaii when I was there in October with Happy Neighborhood Projects, when we had that big, massive webinar. I had him FaceTime with many people, and Lee on the financial piece to help him with some financing, with fundraising. And so he's been evolving with us. And I'm just really excited that, he spoke with my co-writer, and she told him again about a community where she's staying at in Guadalajara. And I'm looking really excited to work with them this next couple of weeks and to give an update. And I'm creatively working on the book Cool Acts of Kindness with my 5 graphic designers with the outlines. And again, we would create Leon's water characters and app games as well. And grateful that I got to talk to Trevor Gibbs too the other day. He's in Orlando with American Disabilities Act, making sure websites are ADA compliant. And we're shifting over the website. We're doing a little updating. And on the website, I did have photos of Leon's projects with all these beautiful, beautiful families, children from Peru, actually what the filters look like, the expressions on their family. I mean, just seeing some of these works. And again, Sue, you don't know what you got until you really don't have it. And so I'm just exciting, and congratulations to all his accomplishments. And just think if we can take this vision and mission to the next level. And my vision and mission is to bring these books into animation movies with sign language characters, with 200 folk Manus puppets. And we have a soundtrack by Lucy Lynch and the Perfect Wave. And so far, I have 2 books that are written animation movies. We'll be looking at bringing them into screenplay writing. And I'm working on the climate change book. And I have created app games for each of the chapters of the book. So you would read the chapter of the book. The first book is Underwater Acts of Kindness. It's written from the Animal Planet TV show Tanked, where Noah, the hard of hearing whale, is recruited by a sea turtle called the General of the New Earth Army to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And speaking of the Army, we want to give a good thanks again to Lawrence Wingate Studios, who's a retired Army. And speaking of hearing loss with Noah the Hard of Hearing Well, we have 500 million people worldwide with a hearing loss. We have millions of moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. So it's been great fun to talk about my own background as a case manager with the deaf. 30 some years ago, President Bush signed the American Disabilities Act. And it's great to partner with Trevor Gibbs to make sure, we have the website up that people with disabilities, which I'm occurring right now, is a visual impairment. And I still see the vision though, and it's going to happen, and a little bit of a hearing loss with the little allergies here, but it's all going to benefit the world. And this has just been such an exciting ride, especially with Zoom. Happy Neighborhood Projects, the Disability Channel. You guys are just amazing. So just imagine how we can light the world up with all this amazing partnerships of the Acts of Kindness series. And again, all classroom teachers can receive copies from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. You can request the books, get funded, and they will ship the books out to you. I did a book signing with Kaimai Charter School back in Hawaii several years ago. And now you can go to the website, actsofkindnessseries.com, to see the videos of the signing characters doing the ASL alphabet. And then you can go to Apple and play the app games for free. So Sue, in this journey, I have now 11 app games out of 26 chapters of the 2 books. So we just launched, Apple approved us, Chelsea the Courageous Sign Language Chicken. So she does the alphabet, and you go play the game and you pick out the letters to test your skills. So there's 2 ways of signing to somebody, and that's expressing sign language, finger spelling, or receptive, which is you reading the other person signing or finger spelling back to you. So everybody wins. It's all ages of the heart. And again, they're free. And we are looking forward to talking with Sunflower grant writers to find a grant with Leon McLaughlin's 501c to bring these books into animation movies and continue the app games. And it's
actually,
just great
I'm
fun.
going to interrupt for 1 second because we want to get you back to talk more in detail about all that here in our next episode. So if you can hang on just one moment, I'm going to pass this back to Kurt to close this episode out. And I'm so glad to have you here, and Leon and Kurt, over to you.
All right, here we go. And again, Marianne, you're welcome to hang out after we conclude this. We're going to be staying on our Zoom here to continue our work that we're doing at this moment for production, post-production. Great show today. If anybody has any questions or inquiries for the show, feel free to direct them to me, Kurt, K-U-R-T, at projectdiehard.org. Kurt at projectdiehard.org. Again, Project DieHard, our fiscal agent in nonprofit work responding to veterans and this concern of veteran suicide, spreading hope to veterans. And with that, we also are going to give a special mention out there to Shine Music Festival out of Denver, Colorado. We're doing some work to show some support out for that event happening this summer. And with that, the founder of the Shine Music Festival is Sean Satterfield, and she is professionally offering assessments for people in their businesses and their websites to take a look at how well we're doing on our digital presence with web content accessibility guidelines, and otherwise in the context of what's in the Americans with Disabilities Act to comply to the law of the USA, and then just looking at it as good tips, tricks, and techniques to make what we have online work well for people all around the world that are people with disabilities. So with that, that'll do it for today's show. And yes, we hope you tune in next time at this, your TDC Today Show USA. Take care.